Hello, hello, hello. It's your new day with Donna Reiners and Dr. Kami Owen, where we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one. And maybe it's yours. In our 30 minutes, we talk about your emotions and mind and how they tie into your body and spirit. We want you to renew and restore yourself in a world that wants you crazy. And sometimes we even talk about money. Introducing your hosts, Donna Reiners and Dr. Kami Owen. Hello, hello, hello. This is Donna Reiners and
Dr. Kami Owen.
And we are here with a new day and your new day where we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one. And I was just sharing with her and we thought, whoa, wait, we'll just share it right now. So I have this lady who found me.
Were you lost?
I was not. This lady who found me, and I'll just tell a little bit of her story. Mm-hmm. So she had been hearing thoughts that were outside of her norm with regards to what she had believed in her, I'll just say, her Christian religion. And she had posed these thoughts to a few thought leaders that she knew that basically told her she was hearing from darkness and that it was not God.
So she was literally hearing something.
Yeah, hearing. She's seeing things in Scripture. She's reading Scripture. She's seeing things that, we're like, this says this, but I've only heard this.
Okay.
I've only known this. I knew this passage in this context. I don't know what this means. So she's actually having a dialogue with the voice within. Mm-hmm. She's dialoguing with God, however you want to frame your relationship. And she's keeping it secret because she doesn't know what to do with it. And she doesn't know who to trust. And so, again, she started following a few people like me. And then she's following people she doesn't know. And she's thinking to herself, I don't know any of these people. I don't know. Is this real? I mean, is this true? I don't know. She doesn't want to be confused. She doesn't want to be traumatized anymore. And one night, in the middle of the night, she's on Roku. And she happens on Your New Day with Donna and Kami. She's like, oh my gosh, I know her. I know her myself. I've hugged her neck. I saw her at a conference years ago. I know who that is. She believes this too. This might be real. I just want to encourage you, there's a voice inside of you. And it might defy what the voices outside of you say. And you're on a journey with the inside of you to find the true you. Now, I know you think you might be on a journey to fulfill that passion, or to finish that diploma, or become this, to go here, and all those things. And yeah, that's part of it. But I believe that the journey really is about getting to know the one who lives inside you. And guess who lives inside you? You do. You live inside you. No, I'm not saying you're God. So don't get all riled up and send me all nasty notes. But I am saying you have a relationship with you. And if you're terrified at what you're thinking, and you're terrified at what you're seeing, somebody's telling, and you're terrified, then that's not your space. You need to back away from what makes you terrified. Yes. Now, she had been under the dogma that, you don't give your heart to Jesus, you die and go to hell. She'd been under the doctrine that any minute Jesus is going to come back and you're going to get raptured out. So you better make sure your behavior is correct, or you're going to die and go to hell. You'll be left behind. So I will say that some of you watching have that belief system, and that's good. That's okay. You keep your belief system.
Yes.
I prefer to keep the love of my life. I prefer to keep the love of my life, not just a belief system. You are not your belief system. You are love. And if what you transmit outwardly and what you have on the inside is not from a space of love, I don't mean accepting every horrible thing that comes around, but a place of love, then are you believing in a something or are you believing in a someone is my question. And so I'm happy to help her sort out, not tell her what to do, not to tell her what to think, not to tell her what to believe, but I'm helping her sort out the thoughts and the voices she's hearing on the inside so she can maneuver herself in truth and have peace. Just live in peace, because she's not been living in peace for a very, very long time. And now, I'll be honest, there are some things that are out here that seem like do-do-do-do-do-do-do. But do you know what? I was just telling someone I love this the other day. I remember that do-do-do-do-do-do-do when I was a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I said no to all of that because I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know what to do with gifts. I didn't know what to do with talents. I didn't know what to do with the thoughts that were inside of me. They were so real.
Mm-hmm.
And they were so full, and they were so accepting, and they were so big. And so did you have anything that was contradictory to what you thought was true, or did your insides always know, or what are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I think we touched on this before, but, when I had the do-do-do-do, when I was a kid too. And it just, I was a wise child. I really was.
What's that mean?
Wise. I had some wisdom. I know that.
I thought you said wise. I'm like,
No.
What does wise mean?
I was a wise
That's
child.
amazing.
I had grown women asking me, marital, and I gave them some really solid
Good stuff.
advice. Yeah, I was the, the kid that would go negotiate my friends out of being grounded or something, on a technicality their parents said, something like that. I know everybody probably thought I was going to be a lawyer or an attorney, but when I was a kid, I just knew things. I just knew things,
Yeah.
And I had a father that was also very psychic and very tuned in and tapped in. And we can talk about that for a second. I hear.
I don't think he would like the word psychic, by the way.
He hears it from me all the time because he
Does
is.
he?
Yeah.
So he knew things.
Oh, he knew things. He
knew things.
He knew lots. He
knew things from the inside. I know
Yes.
you're going to watch this.
Yes.
You knew things from the inside.
Yes, you did.
Nice to see you, by the way.
And it's funny that there's
This is the man that I thought was 50 when I saw him.
Yes. And
Yeah.
he's 86. Yes.
Her dad is gorgeous.
Yes.
And I mean that in a purely kind way.
Yes.
And so is the mom.
And I have a fun story about that.
Okay.
Don't let me forget to tell
won't.
you. But anyway, there's a belief system that I come in contact with a lot in my practice. I can kind of see where people are consciously, where they are in the spectrum of consciousness with how they see things. I have this picture in one of my tuning fork rooms, and it's actually called consciousness, and it's a very abstract picture, but it has a face inside of a face inside of a face. And I've had people walk into the room and go, "Oh my God, that's a demonic picture." I'm like, really? I'm curious how you see that.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It really is beautiful. But depending on your perspective and what has been programmed in, because it's been programmed in.
True.
And who is to say, I'm going to say, but who else is to say, that things like being psychic and being telepathic are not all God-given gifts that we have been trained, that's been trained out of us. Now, who would want to train it out of us? Well, the powers that be that want to keep us small and keep us from being the amazing beings we are. That's who. And there's a whole bunch of those folks all around the world,
including the church that wants to control us.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
You know, we can have a whole discussion on legions versus re-legions. But anyway, and
that's good.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, we can. That's a.
We got to make a list of things.
That's a 4-show series right there. But I'll be happy to have that conversation. But so having conversations with people that's, oh, you know, what you know, what are you talking about? Telepathy and yeah, no, we can do that, and that's actually been scientifically proven now that, you know, I can actually move. Maybe we can do this one time. I can actually move things mentally with my mind, with thought. I can actually move things. We can all do it. It's not something that's I'm special or anything. We can all do it. I just know I can, so I have the intention I'm able to do it. But some people, oh, that's crazy. That's not true. Okay, and for you it's not true, but you know, I do it at parties all the time. People think it's hilarious, but you know, it's stupid pet tricks is what it is. But to say tapping into your truth and who you are. When I was a kid, I you know, had this knowledge, and then it made me kind of weird. So I know there was a part of me that put it down, like what you're saying, and then you know, I just went on with life. And then when I had my leg thing that we've talked about, whatever little fence I put up, it was blown completely open. And I could see different dimensions. So you can argue with me till the cows come home that there's not different dimensions. And I've seen it. So I have experiential knowledge. And that's what I would actually say is a good litmus test. Do you have experiential knowledge of something? Do you believe something because you know it, like way down in the pit of your gut? Or is it something that you've always been told and you really never had any experiential knowledge about it? So go there first. Do I believe this because somebody just told me this my entire life? Or I do believe this because when I go inward, that just feels so true. I have a physical feeling about it. So that's one litmus test of where the crazy is. And the crazier you feel, you're probably more in your truth.
Your true north.
Yeah. Then when you feel like, okay, you know, it was funny, my son he used to think I just went crazy in this time, and the things I was talking about made zero sense to him, and nobody had a listening for it at all in my home, and they thought, oh, well, you're just on drugs. That's what's wrong with you. You're taking all those drugs, and you're just on drugs. And I was like, well, you know, no, this is my experience, and
I don't drink and I don't do drugs.
Well, at the time, I was drinking and doing drugs. So
oh my God!
You know, trying to numb the pain. That's.
Oh yeah, during that season. I'm sorry, I forgot we were in this context.
Yeah, we were in the context of my leg, and
okay.
and I was being prescribed a lot of drugs, and they weren't working, and I was trying to self-medicate in the ways so they just all of that was just because you're altered, your mind is altered, and it's like, actually my mind is clearer than it's ever been, is what happened. So inside of whatever you're experiencing, because I believe there's a massive awakening going up. A lot of people are waking up. So if you hear the little doorbell ring, it's okay to open the door and take a look. You can look out and go, nope, not for me, and shut the door. It's okay. But you could say, wow, that I've never seen it like this before.
Like Truman when he left the show.
Yeah. Yes. And there are some folks that will be just terrified to actually go inward and suss it out within them and need that validation. And I can tell you it's kind of scary. I know you've been out there on that ledge where you're the lone wolf out there and nobody else has any relationship to what you're saying. And with me, not only me talking crazy, because I have a license, and I was sure they were just going to come lock me up and strip me of everything. And she's a Looney Tunes, and that would be the end of it. And I was very concerned about that for a while. I thought my family was going to lock me up. I thought my husband was going to lock me up. And then when he says, I got this really nice place out in Dripping Springs that we're going to take you to, and they're really good with chronic pain and everything. And I thought, okay, here comes a straitjacket, and I'm going down. That's what I thought. We went there. It was amazing. The place was amazing, and there was a listening for me there.
Mm.
And so then I had some validation, and at that point in my life, I needed that.
Mm.
I don't need it anymore. If you don't jive with what I'm saying, that's okay. Like I was just making the joke. That's why they make chocolate and vanilla. I'm an acquired taste. I'll tell you that. But if you don't have the listening, you don't have somebody that validates you, it's okay. You can validate you.
Yes.
You don't need somebody outside of you to validate you. And it's cool to have somebody that gets you.
It's nice.
It's very
not
nice.
as lonely.
And I'll tell you, there's way more of us out there than you think. So when I first started getting this awakening and I started seeing the world completely different, like I could see energy, and I'm like, what's wrong with my eyes? It's like things are coming off of things, and I could see, if you've ever seen the movie Lucy, have you seen that movie where she basically starts taking a drug that she can, use like almost 100% of her brain. She turns into a computer at the end. But anyway, quantum computer.
We have seen yeah. Go ahead.
But the scene where you could see like there's all these people in the cell phones, and you could see the energy going up to the sky from the cell phones. Like I see that all the time.
Wow.
And then I can see the grid all around me, and sometimes I pay attention to it, and sometimes I don't. But I've been in groups. Like one time I was on a plane. This was not that long ago. I was on a plane. And I'm looking around, and I could see everybody's energy going up out of their head. And I could see, this person looks afraid because of the color. And this person, is angry. And this person's chillax. And then you could see them all. And then you could see, like families together, and they're all in the same frequency. It's really cool to see that kind of stuff. And sometimes I can look at my husband, and he's looking at, he knows I'm looking at him, and go, man, your energy's really, this color or that color, or it's really, tormented, or it's very calm and chill. And I'm sure at some point it kind of feels like I'm invading him a little bit, invading his space a little bit.
Only because you told him.
Yes, but I can see it anyway. So just the whole point of this is, even if you sound crazy to yourself, because I sounded crazy to myself for a solid year. I even went and made sure they tested me, so I had some validation that I wasn't crazy. Okay, by your standards, I'm not crazy. And then I will unpack this information for myself. Now, I have unpacked a lot of it, so I feel pretty solid in my experiential knowledge. And what's also interesting is, as I have awakened, my tribe has just shown up. People that in a million years I would never thought could have these kind of conversations. I had clients that I've seen for years, very conservative, very, I had them in this box.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when COVID happened, and then right after COVID, and people really started waking up after COVID, somebody would say something to me, and I'm like, oh, wow, we can talk about that. And I would have this whole entire conversation that would just blow my mind, that just happened. Like I really just said all that crazy stuff, and they said all that crazy stuff right back to me, and we gelled, and we
That's
validated
awesome.
each other. And so that they will show up, they will show up in your life, because when we get back to the frequency part, if you're resonating at this frequency, let's say smooth jazz, that's a radio station, you're playing smooth jazz is going to come to you all around you. But if you're, heavy metal is going to come to you. So whatever you're putting out there is the resonance that you will attract. And that's, somebody's trying to say law of attraction, but it's really just the radio station you're playing. So,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so.
I don't know if I have anything to say. I don't. Well, of course, I always have something to say.
I was going to say what?
What? What's that you said? I can't say that I see, but I have I hear voices,
Mm-hmm.
and I have encounters, and I get given information that gives me clarity regarding different people, and what they think about me, which I don't think God would give me if He couldn't trust me with it.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I see it,
which isn't always good, by the way.
Yeah.
I get before I get information regarding some of the things that seem off. I get information as to why it's off, and I'm like, okay, that helps me. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It is completely none of my business or my concern what somebody thinks about me right now in my life at all.
Yeah.
And but what I was saying.
But then my calling is all emotions and helping people with their emotions and breaking free of their emotions.
I love it.
That's totally my calling. So it helps me to know.
Yes.
And to help people know how to tap into, for them to have clarity regarding their own thought life, so they know what's of them, what's not of them, and what's just insight, so they can know how to live their life versus living their life on the opinions of others.
Right.
It's helpful.
And it's interesting because I also had an idea what it's supposed to be like. You know, when you can see and you can hear and all that, and of course, it's nothing like I thought it should be, or what other people experience. They say, I see this. I'm like, well, damn, I don't see any of that. So what's wrong with me?
Like the energy room. Yeah. He sits in the middle and he has this portal. Whoosh, whoosh. I'm like, I have no whoosh happening with me when I sit there.
Well, probably because if you sat in that room and turned your full emotions on, you probably literally explode. So that's probably why.
That could be, because I'm whoosh on the inside.
There's some part of you that goes, oh, hell no, we cannot have her whooshing in here.
Yeah, I already got it.
She will blow this place up.
It
was interesting, though, when I went in the energy room, I could, when I closed my eyes, I see 3 different screens. So I saw all 3 screens, and I could really see it, but when I was just sitting there with my hands, and my hands were like boo, 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 like pulsing, like this, and then I got really hot, and that's magnetic energy. That's feminine. That's divine feminine magnetic energy. So that's another thing. The divine feminine is coming in. So women that are feeling all these hot flashes and all that, I believe that at a certain age, when we get to a certain age and we don't care about all the other junk anymore, that this has been coming into us, this divine feminine has been coming in for a while, and that's what that is. So there's a physical manifestation in hormones and stuff like that, but I believe that it's also something else higher up than that, and it's funny how mainstream medicine doesn't want to deal with it at all. They don't even hardly teach doctors about menopause, perimenopausal, about women.
Oh, heck no, because it's crazy. They want to lock you up.
There's shifts in hormones. But I think that
men too.
Yes, I think the shifts I think most of the men's stuff is induced by drugs, because we need cholesterol to make sex hormones. And what's the first thing to do on men? They put them on a statin drug and make sure that they don't have enough cholesterol in their body to make enough testosterone. And then they do something to our vitamin D, and we can't make hormones. Anyway, it's a whole thing. I see this at night when I'm about to go to sleep, and it's called a hypnagogic state, when you're just about to fall asleep. And that's when the magic happens, really. That's a very specific state of consciousness. But I literally see it like little numbers, and they're just coming in like a computer download. I get a computer download, and I'll wake up and I'm like, oh wow, okay, I remember that now. And I'll look at something in quantum physics or something. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. I'm like, wait, I've never seen that before in my life, in this life, but I remember it because it's all programmed in. Here's the other thing: it's all programmed in all of us. It's all in every single one of us. We're in a holographic world. What does that mean? The whole is inside of every little piece of the little pieces. So everybody's DNA has the same information in it. Every single person on the planet has the same DNA and same information in their DNA. We all get the same hard drive. Okay? Now, we don't all have access to the entire hard drive. That's kind of part of the fun right now, is tapping into the hard drive.
So DNA, yeah. I'm soaking it all in on what.
I feel like I'm babbling tonight, but
No, babbling is always good. We could call this one babbling. The babbling brook. Just kidding. We started out talking about
your inner truth.
my friend.
Yes.
And how I've been helping her understand that she's not crazy.
Yeah.
So I just want to spend a moment and encourage you. If you're watching this, if you're in this Grace Awakening Network, and right now you're watching Your New Day, it means you're open to maybe a truth you didn't know you knew. Okay? You're open to knowing yourself in a different way. And I also want to encourage you that if you came from a religious background and all you know is, and listen, I know, Jesus died for me on the cross and that's all I need. I know, I get it, and that's awesome. But if that's all Jesus is for you, is someone who died on the cross and that's the end of it, I want to encourage you to look deeper. Go look yourself in the mirror and look deeper and deeper and deeper, because inside of you is the living Christ. Inside of you is the Christ who always was, that you have always been with, that you'll always be with, and that you'll always know because you've always known. And that God has always known you. And so that's the mystery. The mystery is, do you know that you're known? Do you know that you're not alone? Do you know that you have the DNA of a creator that put within you the imprint of eternity?
Yes.
Anyway,
yes.
Those are our thoughts as we close, and we bless you as we solved multiple problems in this show.
That's right.
And we'll see you in the next time. Maybe we'll try to stick to something, I don't know, but this is much more fun. Until soon, this is Donna and Kami.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you for joining Your New Day with Donna Reiners and Dr. Kami Owen. We look forward to seeing you next time. Remember, we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one, and maybe it's yours. Until soon.